Hey, it's your girl Latanya Moore here with Real Perspectives, and we have a fabulous guest today. His name is Anmol Singh, and he is one of the most sought-after entrepreneur and stock market traders. He started trading during his early college years and didn't have much luck, but after a year or so, he discovered a pattern that allowed him to go from zero to over $10,000 per week in profits. So to date, he has accrued over 7 figures of profits for him and his investors in trading wins and continues to remain a stock trader. He is also an avid real estate investor with a large portfolio and has funded 2 other tech-based companies. Today, he spends most of his days managing funds and working with students of Live Traders, which he co-founded in 2014. LiveTraders.com is a collaboration of 3 professional traders: Anmol Singh, who is our guest today, Jared, Wesley, and Jay Akmal, who not only have a vast amount of market knowledge and experience, but they also have a hunger to help other aspiring traders become great. The goal at LiveTraders.com is to build a trading community of traders, for traders, and by traders. And so today, he's going to talk with us about building wealth in the stock market. Anmol, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So you have to really let's go way back, and I want to ask you, how did you get started trading in college?
Well, we were just sitting in the dorm room. I was sitting with a couple of my friends, and we were just talking about the stock market, or talking about a recent maybe movie someone must have watched about the stock market. So we were just sitting there, and the topic of stock market was brought up, and that immediately caught my attention. And I became super curious about the markets. And then after I went back to my own room that day, I started researching about the markets, started reading up on them, buying books on it, buying courses on it, and it came up to be one of my passions that I kept on becoming really curious about it.
Wow, that's really awesome because, of course, in college, most people are, 17, 18, 19 years old. They could care less about anything like that. So that is really a fabulous backstory. I know that you guys at Live Traders, you talk about 3 reasons why trading is growing so rapidly worldwide. Talk with our listeners about that.
Right. So, recently people have become more weary of giving their money to, Wall Street hedge funds or mutual funds because, most mutual fund managers and most fund managers, they don't even beat the market returns. So if you just bought the market yourself and forgot about it, you would probably make more money than giving your money to a money manager. They're actually underperforming the market. So, and because they also charge a lot of high fees, and so people are increasingly getting frustrated about their investments and about their savings because it's not growing. So now people want to take their control in their own hands, learn how to do this themselves so they can, potentially get a decent return for their capital. And also, with technology, it allows everybody to trade from anywhere in the world as long as you're having your laptop or computer, or if you have good internet. I mean, you can pretty much trade from anywhere because you're not tied down to an office like in the old days where if you wanted to trade, you had to have a broker, you had to be in the office. But now anybody can trade from anywhere as long as you have internet. So a lot of times, even when I am traveling, I might be in London or I might be in New York, and I'm just carrying my laptop and my internet with me, and it's good to go. Can set up office anywhere. So that's one of the advantages of trading.
Wow, that's really a testament to our digital, our global living, because you're right. Many years ago, you had to have a middleman, and so I love the fact that you guys over at LiveTraders.com, you're training people to take that part of it out and to be able to retain a lot more of the profits. But I'll tell you, it seems to take a lot of courage to to be a trader. And so talk with us about what makes successful entrepreneurs and traders, people that are successful in this space, what makes them different from other people?
I think what makes them different is the way they do things. It's not necessarily what they do, but it's how they do it. So a person who's just starting out, might just dive into the market, put his own money in, and start trading and, figuring out how to trade with real money. And, that's what most people do. Whereas some intelligent people, what they do is they come into the markets, they learn, and then they go on a virtual account, which we call a simulator account. So in the simulator account, you're getting the same exact feel of a real stock market platform. You're putting on trades, you're taking all these trades, but the money's not real. But it's real stocks, it's real prices, everything's real, but the money's not real. So most people who are now coming in, what differentiates them is they are playing and they're testing and they're making all these mistakes on the virtual account. So by the time they're, ready to go into a real money account, they've already sorted and corrected out most of their mistakes. So, that's one thing people can look to do when they start out.
Wow, that's really awesome because it sort of gets you in that, it almost guarantees success. You get the opportunity to do, what do you call this? It's like a virtual reality, I guess, in the stock market. And I know, though, even with that, even with the practice, even with having this virtual community where, you're not really losing, I know that you've mentioned about this concept of trading psychology. I know that's something that you guys at Live Traders talk about. What is that, and how does it separate the successes from the failures?
Right. So psychology plays a big role in trading. Trading releases the same, endorphins or the same dopamine in your brain, the same thing that comes out, if you're gambling or if you're doing cocaine, doing sex, the same feelings and you get as a trader. So what's important for people to do is to control that feeling. Because when people start risking money, it releases those, particles in your brain that makes you sometimes, puts clouds over your thought process and you don't think clearly. So a lot of people, what they do during losses is they continue to lose. If they're in a losing position, they continue to lose and they say to themselves, oh no, this is going to come back. I'm just going to buy more. It's going to come back. Whereas a trader who realizes his psychology has a big part to play will just take the loser, take a small little loss, walk away, and then come back on the next trade stronger. So, it's a various, things that come into play, when we talk about trading psychology. But I think it's just mainly about having a growth mindset, not being rigid. Markets are always changing. You got to constantly be adapting to the environment and not being too rigid on your thought process.
Great advice. Absolutely great advice. I love it. I love it. I love it. So what does the business owner, the entrepreneur, or the trader need to do to position themselves for success?
I think, we were just talking about psychology. I think I would say that they first need to fix their mindset. Once you have your mindset right, you can get into anything you want. You could launch your business. You can get into trading. You might have some other passions. You can pretty much do anything you want, but first you need to get the mind right, and which is to, number one, have a positive outlook on everything. Be persistent. You got to have persistence. You got to be persevering through hurdles because you're going to see hurdles. You start a new business. You get into a new venture. The initial phases are going to be a little tough. They're going to have some roadblocks, but as long as you are persistent and you have the belief that the idea that you have is a good one, you're going to be able to go through that. So, you have to be passionate about what you do. You have to have persistence, and then also continuous learning. You have to be focusing always on getting better every single day.
Great, awesome. And those are some things I know as a business coach. It's funny because the principles are the same, regardless of the area that you're in. And so those are definitely some principles that I share with my coaching clients. But what advice specifically would you give our listeners who are looking at they're looking at trading, and I am completely ignorant to trading. I have to just be totally honest about that, which is why I'm so glad that we have you on the show, because I know that this is something that would be super beneficial or is going to be super beneficial to our listeners. But what advice would you give someone like me, a novice who has absolutely no experience? So I go through the virtual community, I do all those things, but when it's showtime, when the money's on the table, what are some tips or tools that you would give someone like me on choosing the right trades?
Right. So the first thing would be is where we start most of our traders is before they join us, we do like a 15-minute consultation over the phone so I can get a good idea on what they're looking to get out of trading, and so we can also decide if they're a right fit for each other, because some people come in for the wrong reasons and some people just come in because of the money, but they aren't really interested in trading. So, we also filter a lot of people out that way. So, that's the best way for people to get started, to get on a 50-minute call. So we'll get an idea of what kind of trader you could be. Are you going to be a short-term trader? Are you going to be a long-term trader? Or maybe you're going to be a stock trader. Perhaps you're going to be trading currencies. So we determine what a person is going to be good at. And then there are some trading challenges on our website. When people take that challenge, it'll tell them which category of trader they fall into. And, then it's a pretty step-by-step process from there for most people looking to get started.
Great. I love it, because it is a recipe for success. You have to do that matching to make sure that this person fits this area, so that's great. Now, you guys have grown very fast since 2014, and most of your business comes by word of mouth. How did you launch a business and receive this huge social media following in such a short span of time?
Well, I think the main reason why we were able to do that is because we generally cared about, what the clients and what the traders are going to be doing. We generally cared about their results, and also we generally have good results ourselves. So that necessarily ensured that the product that we were going to, give to our clients is going to be a good one. It's a proven model. It works. And I think the reason why we were able to get a good following was because we were able to demonstrate the value that our training programs and the products have, and also that it's proven by showing our own statements and showing our own profit and losses and showing the detailed statistics of our own trading, which validated the programs that we were giving to our clients. And just generally sharing good content, not trying to sell people really hard, just offering them good general value, and then having them come to their own realization that the training program is right for them.
Awesome, I love it. And we've talked about that. You guys have had so much success. It is mind-blowing, to be honest with you. But talk with us about any setbacks that you've experienced on this whole journey. So going back from when you first started, and I know that when you first started, you didn't have a lot of luck. So sort of talk with us about the setbacks you had and how you were able to overcome those setbacks.
Right. So as far as setbacks from trading, they were pretty often, especially in the first 1 or 2 years of my trading. And mainly the setbacks aren't necessarily things that are really bad. It's just that when these little setbacks happen, we tend to kind of blow them out of proportion in our own mind. So they're actually not that bad. So when sometimes you'll have losing days in the markets when you're trading. Sometimes you'll even have a bad week that you lose money the whole week. So you definitely have those weeks, but you have to realize that they are part of the game. Not every single trade is always going to win. It's impossible, right? So, yeah, once you realize that the losses are going to happen, but if you think of trading as a business, those losses are nothing but cost of goods sold, or one or two bad products in your store that did not sell. So once you have that mindset of treating trading as a business, that really changes the whole game, and that's what really, I guess, changed my setbacks and how I overcame it. And from a business standpoint, from live traders, we had setbacks initially as well because people tend to become really like cynical, right? Anytime anybody is selling an online course, online program, people are really cynical, and rightly so, because there's so many programs out there, and then there's so many other companies to choose from, and a lot of people are simply marketers, might not actually trade themselves. So the cynicism was kind of justified, but that's just one of the hurdles that business throws at you. But as long as you're able to prove that your product works, then that trumps everything.
Great. What would you say would be the best business advice you've ever received?
The best business advice I've ever received, something that I go by, is that return on your investment is way more important than return on your ego. And what that basically would mean is you see these days a lot of people trying to launch businesses on Instagram or launch businesses on social media, and they're spending a lot of money creating these expensive websites, expensive videos, expensive images, or maybe renting like an expensive house or a car to do a photo shoot with them. But when you really think about it, that's not really increasing their business that much. They're mainly investing in their own ego to make themselves look good. And one of the best, I guess, business advices I received is focus on return on investment. Don't focus on, return on your own ego.
Great. Awesome advice. I love it. What are some, you've talked a little bit about the program there you've mentioned it at livetraders.com. Tell us, our listeners, about the program and how they can actually be involved in the program.
Right. So the program that we offer is a full training course. It takes people from all the way from the basics all the way to advanced level of trading. It takes them all the way from A to Z of trading the markets. And in that program, it's about 16 hours of video footage of a seminar we did in the past, and then it has 500 pages plus of manual. So basically, we've given everything we need to know about trading in this one training program. And usually if you go on any other trading companies, they will have 5-6 different courses: basic course, advanced course, intermediate course. But what we've done is we've eliminated the need for having all these different courses and package everything into one, so people have an easier decision to make. So that program basically covers all of our strategies, our trading plans. It creates all the step-by-step, the way we trade, and also comes with 1 month of our training room. So the trading room is actually the best service that I think we offer. What that is you get to see me and 2 other traders trade the markets live in real time. So people can actually see our screens and hear our audio live in real time while we're actually trading the markets. And that's really a good tool for people just getting started to actually see us trade our own money in real time, whether we're up or down, and you'll get to see how we handle that.
Wow. What a great program. And so, again, for a novice like myself who would take your program, let's say that I do the program, I watch the videos, I get the 500-page manual, I take advantage of the 30-day review, I guess, or visual, to be able to just kind of watch you guys in action. Is there anything after that? Like, is there some type of coaching that that kind of goes along with that, or is it just at that point you're sort of on your own?
Right. So there are different ways people can take it. So some people prefer to just learn and then just go out on their own. So for those people, they can just purchase the course, and then that will give them the videos, that will give them the manual, and then that would give them 1 month inside our trading room. And the trading room runs every day, Monday to Friday. So they have access to that for the whole month. So that's one way people can do it. The other way is, let's say people want to learn, they're dedicated, but they don't have the money to trade. Then we also provide capital to a lot of the traders. So trader might put down, let's say, $2,000 on the training program, and then we might back him up with our own capital of, let's say, $50,000, $60,000, and in exchange we take a percentage of their profits. So that's one program that is also there for people who don't have the capital and require our capital to trade. And then, after that we have monthly sessions as well. So monthly we have a coaching session, a coaching webinar for everybody who's part of the program, and that's available to you for the lifetime of the program.
Great. Awesome program. What are some other things that you're working on? I know we mentioned earlier that you're doing some real estate investing. Talk with us a little bit about how you were able to take those investments from your trading, and now you have a whole new vertical in real estate investing. Talk with us about that transition.
Right. So the transition was a relatively smooth one, and I guess those are the benefits of trading. Because when you're trading, you are making money, right? And you don't have expenses. You don't have cost of goods sold. You don't have to pay rent for your office, and you don't have the typical expenses you would have if you were running a traditional business. You're paying rent, you're paying salaries, you're paying all of that. Whereas when you're trading for your own, you don't have to pay salary, you don't have to pay rent, and you have all this money that you're going to be people are going to be making, and you have two options. You can either just keep that money in your bank and let it sit there, and you could be satisfied with what you have, and which is perfectly fine. I have people who don't want to do any of that. They're perfectly fine with what they're making. But then for me, it was like, how can I take this a step further? I could either have this money sitting in the bank, or I could maybe take this money and start investing into other businesses. Maybe I could start buying some rental real estate and having the money, I guess, make more money.
Great. I love it, because it makes sense, because you have something else going on in addition to the trading, and you're actually reinvesting your money, like you said, versus having it sitting in a savings account, which we all know only gains about $1 a year for those of us that have been down that road. Yeah. So where can our listeners let me ask this question. If you were to kind of sum up what you'd like for our Real Perspectives listeners to gain or take away from what you guys are doing there at livetraders.com, what would it be?
I think the biggest takeaway would be to do something that you're going to be passionate about. Don't just jump into something without being passionate about it. Something might look good on the surface, but turns out you're not interested in it, then you're going to have a tough time with that. So whatever you're planning to do, make sure that's something you could do even when things get tough. And if you are interested in trading, and if that's something that interests you, then we would be happy to talk to you and see if it actually is something that you're interested in, or is it just something that you're looking to dabble in. As we know, dabbling in is kind of hard for people to succeed. You have to be all in what you're trying to do.
Awesome. Great advice. Thank you so much, Anmol Singh. So tell our listeners how they can follow what you guys are doing there at livetraders.com.
Sure. I think the best way for people would be to head over to the website at livetraders.com. We have our free ebook there that they can download, and it's a really good ebook. We used to actually sell that until last year. This year we decided to make it free so people can download that, read the ebook, and once you do download it, you get added into our database. And next time when we have any events coming up or any seminars or webinars that we're doing, you get notified of that. And in addition to that, there's some good blog posts on our blog and some really good YouTube videos on our YouTube channel that people can check out and stay in touch with what we're doing.
Well, Real Perspectives listeners, you've heard it here from Anmol Singh. I encourage everyone to go to livetraders.com, download that ebook. If you find that it's something that you're passionate about, reach out to those guys so they can show you how to start making that 5-figure profit and to turn those profits into other businesses. Thank you so much for being a part of the show and sharing your expertise with our listeners. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, until next time, guys, I'm your host, LaTanya Moore. This is Real Perspectives, where we seek real people and real issues and real solutions from real perspectives.